There we
been.
go.
Like, what the hell is going on?
I don't know. Why do you do that right before a show? Why?
Because
Why do you do it?
he likes having a clean slate.
That's right.
You know, new week,
Apparently.
new fresh,
Empty recycle bin.
Yeah.
Empty trash.
Yep.
Yeah. I like it.
I like a lot.
I'm gonna pop out this chat.
You aren't ready for this jelly?
The chat has been popped.
Ew.
Yikes. Okay. Do 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 do.
Mm-hmm.
Boom, 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 boom.
It's one of Dave Matthews' greatest hits.
Boom, 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 boom. All the little ants are marching.
You don't sound like Dave Matthews at all.
And now waving, they all do it the same.
Sound like
That
the
is a-
Proclaimers doing
Yeah.
Dave Matthews.
Like
When I
with
wake
the
up,
flu.
yeah, I know I'm gonna be the one who wakes up next to you.
Exactly. Hello and welcome to episode 731 of the Player One podcast for Tuesday, November 10th, 2020. I'm your host, Chris Johnston, and with me, as always, from Canada is Mr. Greg Seward.
And boy, are my arms tired.
Hot off his 24-hour Extra Life stream. Well, not hot off. I guess it's sort of
No,
a couple hours
not
ago
hot off.
now at this
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you raised over $10,000
Yes.
for the kids. Congratulations.
Again, thank you. Thank you guys for your donations.
Yes.
It was great. It went really well.
Yes.
$10,300 total. So,
Nice.
yeah, it's awesome.
That's great,
In a
man.
big
Watched
year.
a lot of the stream, a lot of playing some interesting Super Nintendo.
Your best friend Mike was here for a while.
Yeah, I
His-
watched your Trials of Mana gameplay.
Yeah. Your best friend Mike's best friend Jim was here for a while. And
Yeah,
your best friend Mike's new best friend Ryan was here for a while. So
Man.
that's right.
your
It
circle's
sounds like we got a new
expanding.
crewmate on our
You
Sea
might
of
have a
Thieves
new
crew
crewmate,
as
yeah.
well.
You can all sit
So-
and laugh at me for calling an island Jeff or whatever the heck the name of that
That
thing
was such a great clip. There's an
So
island called
bad.
Jeff. No, that's somebody's pet that's on the ship.
It was the monkey.
So good. So
The monkey
good.
was named Jeff?
I don't remember what its actual name was.
That's a terrible name for a monkey.
Guess so.
I didn't name it. I don't know.
And joining me from the great state of Washington, Mr. Phil Theobald.
They all do it the same.
There we
They
go.
all do
That's a
it
little
the
better.
same.
You don't, your microphone like pops
Yeah,
in
it
volume
doesn't
every
like it when
time
you
you
do
do that. So it's not
Weird.
That's not,
Out of all the
Weird.
things
Yeah.
that don't like it when you do that, I think your microphone is the most.
Your
it dislikes it the
microphone.
most.
How could anything on this planet not like Dave? Man.
I didn't say Dave. I was talking about you
well,
covering Dave.
with my love and affection 24/7
I guess so.
here at the DMB. Yeah. I don't mind waiting in line at the DMB. Satellite. You know.
Anyway,
How you
I
guys
think we should
feeling?
just-
How you
How am I
guys
feeling?
doing? Yeah,
How
how
am I
you feeling?
feeling?
How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling
You
very
feeling
good. Feeling good.
Little relieved for no reason in particular.
No reason in particular.
Good.
Right.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
I
Mm.
am not feeling so relieved about the coronavirus in the US though.
Well, you know.
I mean, there's one thing to be relieved about, and then there's all this other stuff, right?
Yeah. Well, you know, maybe.
So today I was driving to pick up lunch, and
What'd you
saw
have
a
for
guy,
lunch? Let's start there.
Jimmy John's.
Jimmy John.
I know you're not.
So
gonna like, you don't like that.
you
don't like
you
Jimmy
were going
John's.
to get a mediocre sandwich for lunch.
mediocre sandwich.
Mhm,
That's right.
mhm.
And saw a guy out on the corner of one of the major intersections by where I am located with a stop submitting sign
Oh, God.
and
Very brave.
break free of the mask
The true heroes.
Yes.
sign.
Well, yeah,
And I
Halloween
just
is
thought-
over. It's time to put
Halloween's
those
over.
masks away until next year.
I just thought, have you seen the case numbers? Like now is not the time to say put away your mask. Now is the time to say please, for the sake of the people around you, continue to wear them. And
I did not realize I was on the podcast with a shipperson,
right,
which is of course the singular of sheeple.
Oh,
about a week and a
Yeah,
half
yeah.
ago, a podcast host who hosts a bunch of Nintendo related podcasts, Bobby the Nintendo Guru. He hosts Cup of Joe and Nintendo and Breaking Bells, which is an Animal Crossing podcast. He was diagnosed with COVID and is in the hospital currently.
Oh no!
And there's a GoFundMe for him that I'll link in the show notes. I already donated to. I mean, I really
for hospital bills and things.
Yes, it's really, even now, like, it's time to be continue to be vigilant about wearing a mask, please, for not only yourself but the people around you and the people that you care about. Wear a mask anyway. Who
knew CJ had been bought and sold?
Yeah, by Big Mask.
By Big Mask.
Big Mask. Yeah, I have several masks actually.
Yeah. Well, you know, we are
rotate around and wash
the masks machine we wear.
Well, yeah, you should wash
every
them
day
pretty frequently.
I do.
Wait, what?
Yeah. That's how you're supposed to do it, right?
I just wear mine in the shower.
Disposable type.
Gross.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got the one upstairs and I got the one downstairs.
The shower's
and I
for
get
bathing.
To the shower. Oh yeah.
And cooking. That's it.
What about brushing my teeth and
that's
or
weird.
urinating?
No. Well, yeah, urinating, sure.
Okay.
Anyway, I hope Bobby gets well.
Well, of course. Of course.
Very soon. And I hope we're on, hopefully soon, the end of this whole pandemic. I really, we're not at the end. We're probably not even in the middle at this point. Let's all
be adults and
to each other. Let's be adults. Yeah. And wear a damn mask, please. Anyway, let's get on to some video game news because, hey, this is the week upcoming.
It's the next generation starts.
It's next gen week.
Next gen week.
Yes.
That's right. So we all have our systems ordered.
We do.
Pre-ordered.
We do.
Mm-hmm.
My Xbox Series X is coming from the Microsoft Store on Tuesday, according to various tracking.
I know I got
applications
this weekend that mine has been shipped, but I can't for the life of me find that message.
Uh-oh.
It was very late at night when you sent that.
Yeah.
When you told us anyway. And then my PlayStation 5, which is the digital edition, is supposed to arrive on Thursday.
Okay.
My Amazon order says that it'll arrive on Thursday. No indication of that it's shipped or anything, but that's yeah.
I have not. My Amazon order of my Xbox and my Best Buy order for my PlayStation 5 have got neither of them have updated, but my Microsoft Store Xbox order has been shipped.
Which you said that you are resell or you're basically passing one of your Xboxes on to a coworker.
Yes. Yep.
Nice.
So but I haven't been charged for that one yet. So
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Both of my systems are coming via Amazon. Okay. Amazon is saying again, no, hasn't been shipped yet, but PlayStation is supposedly arriving Thursday. And my Xbox is currently, it says here, not yet shipped. We will email you when we have an estimated delivery date.
Oh no! And I know you also had both a Microsoft Store and an Amazon.
I did
order. I did as well. I canceled my Amazon order because I thought I'll put my trust in Microsoft that they're not going to screw me on launch day.
And I did the opposite.
You did the opposite.
I did the opposite because if I don't get the Xbox on launch day, I'm not going to be. I mean, there's no
You're not gonna be
game.
that upset about it.
There's no game coming out at launch that I am
That's Xbox
at-
only.
that's super excited to play. Yes.
Right.
Well, I
and-
mean, Game Pass is on from day one. I don't understand what you're saying.
Are you
But
not
I mean,
excited about the
I'm
velocity architecture and the load times that you will experience?
I mean,
or not experience.
I love
as it were.
Velocity
not
architecture.
having load times, but not playing a video game will give me the least amount of load times possible.
I guess that's true.
Yeah, I mean, there's
That's
there's nothing I'm, obviously I have Game Pass and there's going to be a bunch of great games on there, but
Undermine will load in seconds.
you know what,
Seconds. You can do quick resume and get it back into Undermine like that.
you know what,
It bounce around between Undermine and Rogue Legacy just like that.
if I end up waiting a couple days to get into Undermine a little quicker, that's fine. That's
Okay.
fine.
Okay.
Phil's known for his patience when he's buying new things.
Yes.
absolutely.
Hmm.
Well, you know what my logic was, because I have an Amazon credit card, so I get rewards
oh,
for
right.
buying
Okay.
stuff from Amazon. So this is purely me making a couple
Points
bucks
play.
back. Yeah,
Okay.
that's me. So that's fine. But yeah, my PlayStation. I mean, who knows? I may get an email from Amazon tomorrow saying,
Sucker.
by the way, you'll have it on Tuesday.
Right.
2021.
Turns out we're shipping it now. But
Yeah.
who knows? We'll see.
Okay.
We'll see.
Well, as it turns out, at least at some retailers on the PlayStation side specifically,
Mhm.
their retail partners are not going to have stock for walk-in customers.
Christopher's
in
going
the
to be very upset.
stores.
Who?
Christopher.
Christopher. Who?
Robin.
Well, no. I was wondering if I could play Miles Morales.
Walken. I got
But
it. Yeah.
They have though.
I just want you to know I did
Walken.
our gaming
Walken.
marathon this weekend, and I'm not. I can't keep up with, jokes are hard enough to keep up with when I want a good night's sleep.
Thank you.
There you go. There you go. Not available, however. You have to order them online and set them for in-store pickup or curbside
Okay.
pickup. And a couple of stores are that way with Xboxes as well, including Target.
Oh yeah.
And so yeah, it's going to be a very different day one experience this year. No lines outside of retail
Right.
for these systems.
Now
So,
I will point out that I mentioned this on the Twitters already, but look at this. Look at this, YouTube viewers. What do
I saw that.
What do I
and
have here? A piece of PS5 merchandise in my hands.
yes.
Officially licensed. Sony brand. There it is.
Yeah.
I got my media remote already.
A media remote.
My media
Yes.
remote showed up the other day.
And I have to say that when you showed that a picture of that,
Yes.
that's a media remote that has 4 shortcut buttons that I would actually use.
It does. Let me see
Yeah.
if I can put them up here. There, it's a little blurry.
A little blurry.
We have shortcut buttons, and these are, someone asked me about this on Twitter. These are not stickers. It does not come with a sheet of stickers for you to program these shortcut buttons yourself. These are
Right.
actually screen printed right on the buttons, just like the
Pretty common now.
Yeah.
But you have your Disney Plus button, you have your Netflix button, you have Spotify and YouTube. So
That's pretty great.
I would use all of those.
communication.
Like
I would use all but Spotify.
my TV remote has Netflix, CBS All Access,
Mm.
Hulu,
Yeah.
and one other one.
Good
Quibi.
thing.
Hulu,
Which
Hulu we don't have. CBS All Access I would never use.
Which company paid the most to get
hel-
on the remote?
Hello.
Yeah.
How are you watching Young Sheldon?
Exactly.
You know what?
And I forget what the other one is that
we-
I just,
We do currently have CBS All Access because of Star Trek.
I
Uh-huh.
actually did sign up for the free trial of CBS All Access because of Console Wars.
Mhm.
That
Oh,
was
right,
where
right,
the
right.
documentary is supposed to be, but apparently not in Canada. So
Oh, really? Hmm. Yeah, it's on. It is on there in the U.S., but
It
it's
is.
a bummer.
I've got a piece of PS5 paraphernalia here as well.
Oh, look at you!
Got a
yeah.
DualSense controller.
Man,
That's a nice controller.
I still cannot see that controller as not wearing a singlet.
What?
I can't see your
Oh.
controller without a bunch of Cheeto dust all over it.
It looks like, he's like, like Andre the Giant would wear when he was wrestling.
Sure.
That's what that looks like to me. And
It
it
doesn't
will
look
never...
like Astrobot's head or something.
No, it looks like it's wearing it looks like Strong Mad
Looks like it's
from
about
the
to
Homestar Runner
yeah.
cartoons.
Okay.
It's about to do a leg drop and count to 3.
I mean, it looks
Okay.
nice. I'm not insulting it. I mean, Andre the Giant looked great. When he
Sure,
stepped into the squared circle.
The little
The
blue lights
squared
there.
circle.
Look at that.
There it is. Yeah, look at that.
The
Look at
lights.
it. Look at it.
The eighth wonder of the world.
It's going.
Desperately trying to connect to nothing.
Nothing.
How cruel is
right.
that?
I
It's
did
4
use
lights.
it. I did use it
Oh yeah.
to play PS4 remote play
Oh,
because you can do that.
yeah.
I played the original BioShock from the BioShock collection using it for no reason whatsoever. Random
ass choice.
I know.
I mean, I love BioShock.
I do
Don't
too.
get me wrong,
I do
Go.
too.
Don't
But
yes.
get me wrong, go.
Also like to point out that CJ's already got his Christmas tree up.
That's my wife's desk Christmas
It
tree.
is. It is.
Isn't that
it
the one
is-
that was on the table till like March last year too?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
so we found out some bad news about the PS5.
They're
this
not giving us
past
free
week.
ones.
They're
That
not
is
giving
pretty
us
bad
free
news.
ones.
Yeah.
Also, PT
Barnum.
not transferable. The playable
Well,
teaser.
Of course it's not.
Why
not
would you think it would be?
transferable.
Did anyone think it would be?
Apparently, halfway through the media review cycle, it was playable.
No, really.
And journalists were able to boot it on the PS5.
Huh.
Then an update removed that.
Whoops. Those pesky journalists, had they not said anything, that probably could have slipped through.
Maybe
They had to be all like,
The
"Hey,
media
guess what,
screws us
everyone?
again.
Guess what we can play, everyone? You'll never get a chance to, because Sony's going to wipe it out before they get it. Because you know who is in the gaming press is Bing Crosby. Hey there, boom.
Is that how Bing Crosby?
I think so. When he was
This is another Sam Raimi thing.
boom boom,
Yeah, we're
zing
just gonna take your
zing,
word for
zoodle
this.
How
zoo.
I imagine he talks.
Zoodle Zoo.
Zoodle zing, boom boom.
Uh,
And then he would beat his children.
apparently
'Cause
we
that
got
was-
reviews of the Series X, the
Uh-huh.
Series S, and the PS5 last week as well.
Yeah.
Couple of things to note. A couple positives. Backwards compatibility apparently very good on
Excellent.
the PS5.
good.
A lot of games that had somewhat unstable frame rates on the PlayStation 4 Pro are now like locked 60 frames a second in 4K.
Okay.
That's great. In a couple of the different UI tours that went live on the various video YouTube channels like Digital Foundry and others, you can set global settings for games. You remember this on the Xbox 360? You could set like inverted camera or difficulty settings that would just be
I like that.
taken across game, but then they removed them in the Xbox.
Huh.
The Xbox One did not have that. Apparently that sort of thing is back on the PS5, and you can set things like game difficulty.
Mhm.
You can set camera inversion on there, and you can set subtitles and main game languages. So that's pretty cool.
What language do they speak in Maine?
English, of course.
Well, it just seems like a weirdly specific setting.
In addition, the length of videos that you can record on the internal storage has been increased up to an hour now. It used to be like 45 minutes. Now it's up to an hour. You can record a clip. So that's good. That's good. That's very good. Xbox is like tops out at 5 minutes.
Oh wow, really?
PS5, you can record up to an hour. Yeah.
Wow.
I wish that was different on the Xbox. And apparently the download speeds of the PS5 are very fast.
I'll tell you what. So
Very
I watched
fast.
the Digital Foundry video that they did on Miles Morales,
Yes.
which I'm so happy about. It's a great video because now I know. I mean, I understood ray tracing before,
Mhm.
but now I can to see like the tangible result of it. Video was awesome.
And that you can toggle, but when you toggle between resolution
performance
and
and resolution mode. Yeah.
modes, which by the way is another global setting you can set on PS5.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I know I'll be going for resolution.
Yeah.
But anyway, it was a great video. But man, it was striking. They went from the home screen in Miles Morales to actually being in the world and playing.
Yeah.
5 seconds.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's fast.
5 seconds.
Fast.
that's quick.
Very fast.
That was to load the. Oh, God damn.
yeah.
We're gonna be spoiled. I'm so excited.
Especially because you are going but I think you both have launch PS4s. You did not upgrade to pros.
Yep.
No, I did not.
Right. So, and Greg, you're still on an OG Xbox One.
Day 1 edition.
Day
Damn.
one. Yikes.
I did finally disconnect my Kinect. Disconnected.
You disconnected.
I get it.
But
The Connect. All right.
when they ruined it by putting what's her name in there? What's the name of the Cortana when they
Velocity
made
Girl?
the Velocity Girl, Polygon Man. When they made the commands all about Cortana, I just found it not intuitive anymore. Before
Okay.
you could just say, "Hey Xbox," and it would do something that you wanted it to do. It's like, "Hey Xbox,
Right.
record that," and it worked. It was great.
Yeah.
But then it stopped working. So
Yeah, a couple of the negatives that we found out about PS5. There's nothing similar to Quick Resume on the PS5. The little switcher thing that some speculated would be like an amalgam to Quick Resume is not. It is just what it says. It just switches between games. That's all it does, and it loads them from cold boot each time. You apparently cannot use an external drive to store PS5 games at all. So
heard that.
you can
Really?
use an external drive to store PS4 games. You cannot do like a cold storage situation and put them on an external if they're PS5 games.
Huh.
So this differs from the Xbox Series X, where you can put Series X games on an external for storage, and then you have to transfer them back to the internal to run them.
Did they say why you can't? Is it a performance thing?
It is not explained.
Okay, because the first thing I would think is security, but that doesn't really make any sense.
Well, yeah, I mean to have everything on the internal, you can't run it from the external because it wouldn't. Take
That's what I'm saying.
advantage of the
Yeah,
SSD. That's
so
why.
I'm kind of thinking that's the
Can you update or can you upgrade the PS5 internal storage at all?
No, you cannot. There are no approved expandable
Really?
SSDs available at launch.
It's not going to stop people from doing it.
Yeah.
But taking a shot
No,
at it.
the OS won't accept anything
Oh,
plugged into the SSD expansion port.
Huh. Okay.
So no, that is a no-go. They've not released any sort of list of approved anything yet.
that's that seems like a weird thing to do 4 days before
especially-
the launch of a digital only edition.
Have
Yeah,
you
console.
seen some of the videos? Like I think Digital Foundry has this in their review video where they can't install an update to Astrobot because their SSD is full.
Oh,
Yeah, that's not going to be good.
really? Ugh, that's not good.
So, and the other review videos that I've seen from multiple outlets have usually more than half of the SSD already full with games.
Wow.
So, yeah, and it's only 667 gigs of usable space, even though it's an 825 gig drive. It's not a full terabyte. The usable space is like 667 gig.
Oh man.
But did you say so? You're not even able to. It's the Xbox where you can transfer things over to.
Yes,
You can't
Xbox
play them
you
from the
can't.
external drive.
that's right.
Okay.
Hmm.
Yes, Xbox, you can store things on an external, but if they're Series X or Series S enhanced, you have to transfer them back over to internal before you can play them.
Right.
Backwards compatible stuff on both platforms are able to be played off of an external drive.
No.
So, for instance, I use an external drive with my PS4 right now. All I have to do on launch day is like bring that drive over to the PS5, and I can run all of my backwards compatible PS4 games off that drive. It won't take advantage of the SSD's speed boost or anything, but they are runnable off that drive.
Oh, okay.
Yes, indeed.
Should I get an external drive to store my PS4 games on?
You gonna get
That's
rid
up
of your
to
PS4?
you. That's
I
up to
mean,
you.
I was kind of hoping to unhook
You
it.
can still re-download those things.
Yeah, you can
but-
download them onto the
clean the
PS5, but it
fridge.
takes up your
Well,
takes
that's
up your
that's
667 gig.
That's my point. Is I don't want to be taking up that stuff that I would want to reserve for PS5 games. So,
And for some games like Ghost of Tsushima or some of the games that they've updated to take advantage of some of the PS5 features, I might just have on my PS5 drive anyway.
yeah.
Yeah,
Just
that's
run
kind
them
of the
off
way
the
I'm
SSD.
looking at it. It's like I use an external drive on my PS4
Mm-hmm.
because I want to be able to keep everything downloaded
Yeah.
and updating. But yeah, I'll probably be putting like Gran Turismo Sport on my PS5 HD.
Yeah.
Just because I play that so much, and I don't know if they've said what the advantages are in that thing, but I'd rather
Well,
just rather
definitely
have it.
fast loading.
Yeah, so
And it'll have any of the upgrades that the PS4 Pro had, you'll now be able to take advantage of. So
right, yeah, there's a good point. Yeah, that's actually what I'm really excited. One of the things I'm very excited about. It's an old game at this point, but I'm very excited to play it with all the Pro updates because I haven't seen any of them, and I hear it looks gorgeous. So
anyway, next gen, very excited about that happening this week. We'll be talking about that more next week, I'm sure.
got to start pulling this whole entertainment center apart so I can make room for everything.
I did some of that on Friday. So I mentioned on the show I had gotten an HDMI switcher.
Yes.
But I also got a new Ethernet switch as well, so that
I think
everything
I
could
need a
be.
new one of those.
So I had a 5-port previously. I upgraded to an 8-port. It's only like $20 for a new one of those. And so now I've got everything on Ethernet instead of using Wi-Fi for anything.
Oh yeah, I haven't had my consoles on Wi-Fi in forever, except for the Switch.
Yeah.
Ah,
So hopefully
mine are all Wi-Fi.
I don't trust it.
Mayhaps I should consider that as well. I haven't had any problems with any of
Yeah, but
my
you're
consoles.
not doing any high performance competition like the rest of us.
That is
CJ.
You don't
can't
do any
deal
online
with
gaming, really.
Wi-Fi lag in Sea of Thieves.
That's
I can't.
true.
It's true.
That's
oh
true.
my god. Yeah. So and then I did the whole port forwarding thing to change your NAT type.
Oh.
You remember that whole thing from back when consoles started using Ethernet a lot
You know
for
what I
online
remember?
gaming and chat? Like there would be a problem like on the Xbox 360 where sure you could play the game, but you couldn't use voice chat because your NAT type was closed or it was a moderate NAT or something. You don't remember that?
I
hate
do
when my
remember
nats are
Those dark
moderate.
ages.
I do remember having like a bridge
Uh-huh.
for my Ethernet. So my systems were out here, and at the time our only Ethernet port in the whole house was on the other side of the house.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
So I think it was the Xbox, the original Xbox. I bought like a bridge, which is just this little black box with an antenna that would run Ethernet from the Xbox to that, and then that would connect to the Wi-Fi.
Right. Yeah.
It worked most of the time, not all the time, but most
Wow.
of the time. I hated
Laughing
that.
at Jeff
Oh, God.
Grubb's comment in
I
chat.
am absolutely laughing at Jeff Grubb's comment in
Oh my
chat.
God.
Yeah. I saw that and yeah. Oh, we can't repeat that on air. Oh my gosh.
Oh, that's-
Scandalous.
That's a little
Where are my pearls?
All right.
man.
Let's talk about some other news because some other things happened last week, maybe of interest to Greg in particular. So Sega Sammy has sold off their arcade business, their amusement center business,
Yes.
to a company called Genda Inc.
I mean, end of an era, I guess. That's true, but I don't know. I haven't seen or been interested in any Sega arcade games in 20 years.
A long time. Right?
What's
No,
going to
you know.
happen
Right.
to all those Sega branded UFO catchers?
Yeah. Yeah.
Were
Hmm.
there any of those in the U.S. still?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Probably not. Were there ever any in the US?
I don't know.
I know there's been more than that. I mean, they have released some what you would consider old school, like not old school, but traditional arcade games
Right.
in that period. But I haven't seen anything that I look at and go, "Oh my god, I need to play that." It's a Sega game. Like, just don't really care.
Right.
So
No,
I mean, it is
no.
you know it is significant. I mean, Sega's an arcade powerhouse. That's how the company started.
Mm-hmm.
And through the 90s, the 80s and 90s, they released some super innovative and just great content. But
Name
I haven't
one.
really. Congo Bongo.
Damn, you got me.
Damn it.
You got me.
Was
I
that a
really-
Sega game? I don't even really know.
It,
Congo
it
Bongo is a
absolutely
Sega.
was. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I actually really liked Congo Bongo back in the day. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Other Sega news. They've asked 650 employees to voluntarily retire, and they've cut executive salaries. This is, of
That I
course,
don't care about too much.
the company being affected by COVID-19. So,
Ugh.
I mean,
Yeah.
asking to retire technically better than layoffs, assuming they have a pension plan,
sure.
Yeah.
right? I mean,
Yeah.
better than just losing your job, I guess, but that still really sucks.
Yeah.
It's not much better.
Mm.
True. And keeping with the Sega news, but this time on a more positive note, the Arcade 1-Up rumor that we talked about last week is
Oh, yeah.
confirmed. Arcade 1-Up is doing an Outrun sit-down machine.
Unrelated
Yes.
news. I'm starting GoFundMe.
Is that in conjunction with my GoFundMe?
Yes.
Yeah.
Apparently,
We should
it's already
partner
sold out. I'm looking at Arcade 1-Up's
Are they really?
website.
Yeah.
It says sold out.
Oh,
already.
well,
I
that
really
makes it
hope
easier
that-
for me.
Yeah, I really hope that they actually. I'm assuming there'll be more,
Yeah.
because it's not Arcade 1-Up doesn't usually do like single run of things.
Right.
Right.
But I mean, I'm definitely getting one. That I mean, my God, it's Outrun.
How could you
Yeah,
not?
I know. Man, I just do not have room
I don't
in my
either.
place for it.
No, I can't. I
You
can't.
know what
fit-
though? I
sit
bet
down,
you
I can't do.
have. I bet you have more room than I do.
I mean, we don't need a Christmas tree in here every
Yeah,
year.
there you go.
No, it's
There you go.
the area downstairs that we're turning into a game room. I can see a spot where it could be, but it couldn't be the sit down unit. The sit down unit is just too big.
Yeah.
But it looks like there's in the pre-order package of images, you see the standalone version
Yeah.
with the riser, and it looks like the pedal and brake pedestal. It's separate. It just sits
Oh,
in front of it. I mean, it's probably still
right,
connected, but it doesn't need to be connected to the bottom of the actual unit. It looks like it can be connected to the bottom of the riser as well.
Yeah.
So that I can see fitting mostly comfortably in the game room downstairs.
Hmm.
It's not going to be amazing, but I mean, it's Outrun.
It is
It's an
Outrun.
Outrun machine.
It is Outrun.
And it includes Outrun, Turbo Outrun, Outrunners, and Power Drift,
And Power
as we
Drift.
mentioned
Power Drift. Yeah.
last week. Yeah.
Oh man.
And then the thing is, yeah, it's like, now that you've got to, if I mean, I know it's not going to be amazing hardware for the wheel and the shifter and everything, but you have a stand up and upright machine, you can mod that and get some racing games on there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of speaking to me.
Well.
What's it saying?
I mean, it's moments.
It's asking
is
him
that
to
all?
kill. It's asking him to kill his neighbor.
It's moments
Don't-
like that announcement.
Don't listen to that.
It's moments like that announcement that I'm thankful that I got rid of all my credit cards last year
There
because
you go.
I would absolutely
There
have
you
just
go.
ordered it.
Yeah, but that
Yeah.
guy you gave him to.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was the best idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man.
Oh,
Yeah. I could also just put an extension on the house.
Yeah.
There you go. That sounds cheap.
You know what? You could
Also cheap.
put it in the bathroom so you could have some magical sound shower while you shower.
It's pretty moist in that room, though. That can't be good for the cheap
Greg.
cheap press board they'll use to build those
Particle
cabinets,
board.
It's pretty moist in any room you're in.
especially
I've
without
hung around you.
especially with an Outrun machine in the same room.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Check out this splash wave.
Woohoo. Anyway, let's get into what you've been playing. And I'll go first because I'll be exceedingly quick here. I already talked about the DualSense.
Yeah,
there
it is.
Waiting for those adaptive triggers to
look at that.
To adapt.
Be active on the PS5. Yeah,
You're very excited.
You really are excited about that.
I'm excited about
I'm
the triggers
excited too, but you're really excited about that.
He is. He's
I am, just
very
because
hyped.
so many reviewers are like, this is the next generation of Rumble. Like, this adds so much. And people are being very serious about that. So I take that like, oh, okay. Like, I'm ready. Excited about it. Excited. Anyway, so I'm playing.
It's going to be like when you
DualSense.
got that add-on for Res when you imported the
trans
vibro
vibrator.
the trans vibrator. That's what
I remember
it was.
that. I remember that article. Those pictures were.
I don't have the
CJ
trans vibrator.
CJ's never looked better.
Sorry.
Came in
I don't
came with a
have it.
little protective cloth pouch that you could store it in,
Called a sheath.
that you
And
could
no.
easily wash.
CJ
afterwards.
already had a protective cloth pouch you would store it in.
I actually do somewhere. It's probably in storage right now, but I do have a trans vibrator that I picked up in Japan for like $5
For
or something.
nothing. Yeah, I remember. I think I
Well,
was
it
with
was-
you.
it was-
that store was like 500 yen. It was like,
Well, I mean, it was
I didn't buy
used,
it.
so yeah, I only had to scrape off a little residue from it. So it was.
I mean-
it was new. It was unopened. My good, but they
lightly
were
used.
they were blowing those out.
Used games in Japan are basically like new anyway.
That is also true. But no, these were new. These were new.
Yeah, they were.
Ah,
And I've been playing Cardo on the Xbox on
Yeah.
Game Pass still. And
Yeah.
that is just it's such a cute little game. It's a nice breath of fresh air, nice palate cleanser. I haven't really wanted to like jump back into anything graphically intense because I want to wait for the new consoles instead. So I played Cardo, which is just a cute little puzzle game,
I'm just-
adventure game.
I've only been playing Atari 2600 games for the past 3 months, and I've
Yes.
convinced myself that that's what video games look like. So in a week, I'm going to be blown away.
completely.
Yeah.
But it's such a nice breath of fresh air, fun story and fun game. I think you'd really like it, Phil.
Really.
I don't know. It sounds in fact like you've been playing it now that I'm looking at what you've been playing.
Oh, okay. Huh.
So maybe we'll find out later
Spoiler
What you
alert,
think of-
audience.
what you think of Cardo.
You know what? Now I'm just going to say it's garbage just to piss you off.
Carto, yeah. So I've been playing that, and it's just fun. Please give it a try. I know, like, you know, a lot of people are very excited about next gen games, and we'll be focusing on things like Assassin's Creed Valhalla and Miles Morales and Dirt 5 and you know, Sackboy and Dark Souls, or sorry, Demon Souls. Oh man. But give Cardo a try. Give it a try. It's on Game Pass. What do you got to lose? Anyway, that's what I've been playing. So
Isn't that
Greg,
Trump's campaign slogan?
I hope not. It
I
didn't
think it was.
work. Maybe it'll work in Carto's case.
Uh,
All right, Greg.
Man, did I play some stuff this week? As you can tell
You
by
sure
the blinding light on the side of my face here.
yeah.
Yeah. So stream wise, I played a couple of games that I've had for quite a while. I never really tried out. I spent some time this week playing Odama. Does anyone remember Odama?
Yes,
For the
Ute
GameCube?
Saito's
Pinball.
little experimental pinball war
adventure
game
game.
for GameCube.
Yeah. So I think I've owned that. Well, not since it came out because I bought it for like $10. So I've owned it since it was made cheap.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this is it's so weird. It's a pinball game
Right.
Yes,
that takes place in, I guess, feudal Japan,
correct.
Yeah.
where you control the battlefield. So you control
think it's-
troops.
I think it's like a fictionalized. I don't think
Yeah, I think
I
so.
don't think they even use
You
like
control
real general names. or
troops.
anything.
I don't think they used actual giant pinballs in feudal Japan. So no, I don't think that's historical
Are you sure, though?
fiction.
Games
Are you
taught me
sure?
that they definitely
Fiction.
use steam-powered robots at some point.
Oh well,
Yes.
obviously.
Flying steam-powered robots.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
But anyway,
if anime has taught me anything.
So the idea is that you have a bell that you need to get to the top of each screen.
Yes.
And you can deploy troops.
How
and
many
you can-
troops?
Depends. I get it.
1 million?
There it
That's,
is.
boy.
You control them using voice
million
commands
troops.
because there's a microphone that you attach
Yeah.
to the top of your controller.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Just
while
keep
you're
making that
doing-
hand motion
Yeah, I
with your
know.
hand right.
So there's a
at the-
microphone that you put at the top of your controller, and while you're issuing those commands, you're playing pinball with this giant stone ball called an odama
Uh-huh.
that's rolling around the field.
Right.
It's bizarre.
It's a
It's
weird
even more
game.
bizarre. Like I've described it, and it sounds crazy. When you play it, it's even more crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird,
It's
man.
an
And
inventive game. It's one of
and
the
Nintendo published it here.
they
Yeah.
did.
Yeah.
I was surprised when they announced that they were bringing that game to the US
It was the second
because there
to
were
final
other
game they
games-
published for the GameCube in the US.
There were, I mean, the Nintendo Puzzle Collection was just sitting there. They didn't bring that over.
I know, right?
They bring over the Feudal Japan pinball game.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's weird,
It is
different.
super weird. Yeah.
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 but yeah,
And
you're
this-
right.
And the creator of this game,
Yu Saito.
Yu Saito, we should also point out, is the guy who created Seaman.
Vivarium Interactive is the company that.
Yes.
Yeah.
He also did Sim Tower, I think was
It was
Oh, did he
Ute
do-
Ute Tower or something, wasn't it? Or
Tower, yeah.
Yeah.
you're
Okay.
right.
Okay.
And he's done a bunch of different things.
Yeah.
he makes weird games.
He
Yes.
makes strange games.
And I love the idea behind this because it's so batshit, but
it
doesn't-
absolutely
in
is.
practice, it's really hard to play. Because more than anything else, like first of all, you need to not suck at pinball. So right off the bat, I'm not going to be good at this game because
Right.
I'm so bad at pinball.
Yeah.
And like so you'll have fields and it'll be like there'll be gates there, so there'll be something you'll have to hit a switch that'll turn the gate and turn it off, or there'll be dams that you have to shut down because there's water going across, and like there's a ton of strategy involved if you're
Yeah.
good at pinball. And
Which
not
we
just
are
really
very-
relying on blind
Very much
luck.
not. Yeah.
Yeah. But then the thing is too is that the Odama kills any troops it rolls over, including yours,
Mm.
and
Right.
it's never off the field. So
Yeah.
there's a level of chance there that just kind of sucks. But I'm glad I finally played it. I don't think I'll ever play it again.
Yeah.
And I'll put the archive up on YouTube because it's just you got to see it. It's so
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah.
Another game that I played probably for the first time, broke out the Wii U this
Mhm.
week because somebody requested that I play Silent Hill Shattered Memories.
Oh.
Was it Ben
Um,
Rivers that suggested that?
No, weirdly
Oh.
enough, it wasn't.
Shocking.
He's actually played it recently on his channel as well.
Yeah.
So it's a Silent Hill game for the Wii. It's actually I played it on the Wii U, but it was released for the Wii. Where it's first person. No, it's not first person. It's third person, but you control the flashlight because it's a Wii game. It's Wii
Oh,
control,
yeah.
which I really thought I'd hate because I normally really hate that stuff. That was the thing I probably disliked the most about the Wii in general. But I ended up really enjoying this. It's really, really well done.
Yeah.
And it's got this cool. It uses this cool premise where you're telling the story as the main character after it happened
Okay.
to a psychiatrist.
Interesting.
From a
Okay.
first person perspective. And so like just little things like when the whole point of the game is they say that it profiles your psyche, like we're going to be able to tell you things about yourself based on the answers to the questions that you have. So you start the game with a little questionnaire that this guy's given you, and then he'll ask you questions and you tilt up and down to nod or waggle side to side for no. And it supposedly remembers all that. But one of the things that it did that I thought was kind of neat was at one point he asked me to do a little coloring exercise. So he gives me this picture of this house and a family, a couple standing in front of it, and you have to pick crayons and color the thing in. And then when you go back to a memory that you're discussing, at one point you get to what you think is your house, but then of course it's Silent Hill, so you open the door and complete strangers answer. And then that's the whole big plot point. And it kind of took me a minute to realize that the color of that scene was based on the colors I had colored in the coloring page. So it's kind of neat. It was pretty cool. I hate playing those games on stream because I'm such a big scaredy cat when it comes to those games. So I'm like constantly like getting shivers because I'm just no good with jump scares and you know, in Silent Hill, a lot of those games there's just a lot of nothing happening because those games are all about tension.
Right.
And so you're just in these areas where it's like, yeah, there's definitely something that's going to jump out at me, and then nothing does for like 10 minutes at a time. And then when it does happen, you freak out. So anyway, I want to go through a couple other things too. Of course, I did my Extra Life stream, finished that this morning. It was Super Nintendo based, and every year I ask people to make a donation and select things for me to play. Phil, thank you so much for selecting Mystical Ninja.
That's right.
That was nice.
Yep.
It was a nice palate cleanser.
It's a great game.
It is a great game. God, I love that game. And I got to play 2-player with Ryan, which was
nice.
A lot of fun too, because he'd never played it before.
Whoa.
So yeah,
heartbreaking.
So well, it was great actually. It was really fun to watch him experience it for the first time.
Yeah.
You know, and then CJ, I think you requested Star Fox 2, which
I did.
I hadn't really played before, so that was cool. But I wanted to call out a couple of other games that were requested that I ended up either having opinions on, but really enjoying. Somebody I know who it was. Adam Burnett requested Wayne's World.
Excellent. Swing.
I mean, I knew it was terrible. Don't get me wrong. I knew it was terrible. We played that game for an hour. At about the 55-minute mark, we finished level 1.
Yeah.
What?
It's a terrible game.
Oh my god.
Terrible.
It's
like it's indicative, and I mean there were a lot of games like this, but of course, you know, I don't know about you guys. I skipped most of them because why the hell would I play Wayne's World?
Of course.
Yeah.
Right?
No.
But so I was kind of interested in trying it out just for that. Because it's like, okay, I know these games sucked. That's the reason I never played them. But boy, was I not ready for how terrible. The design of the first level, first of all, there's no progression. There's no like visible progression anywhere. It seems like somebody came up with a tile set and they just started pasting things all over the place.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
There's no, I mean, there's no level design.
Yeah.
It's
tons
just
of cheap hits, tons of leaps of faith. Tons of using drums to as springboards up into enemies. It took us an hour to get, and the level takes forever, and that's the opening level.
Mm-hmm.
And then,
but there was a time in 16-bit where big levels was a thing.
Yeah, but it's the opening level.
I know. I know.
My problem is not that it's a big level.
Yeah,
that was one of the problems, but that was exacerbated by the fact that it was. There was no design progression at all. Like you look at something like even as simple as like a Super Mario Brothers, right? It's like you start the screen, you see a couple of bricks there. There's a couple that you can hit. Mushroom comes out. You've learned a bunch about the game in the opening screen,
right?
And you've been given the skills you need to get through the level in the opening screen, right? This isn't like that. This just throws everything at a wall, and makes you do it for an hour to get through the first level.
Yeah, it's just basically just like here's a giant area, and we're just gonna kind of randomly put platforms. Like there'll be platforms that lead up to nothing. There'll be dead end areas where there's nothing there, and you just end up having to backtrack for a minute to where you were, and just, I mean, that was the design philosophy, of a lot of kind of 16-bit platform games in that era. You know. Where it's just
especially
random crap
games.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
And
make the screenshot.
That's the thing. You
good.
can tell
that's
it was made for as little money as possible, right? This was designed by Gray Matter Studios, which they churned out games in the 90s. I mean, that was kind of their thing. And I didn't play a lot of them, but my God, I played this, and it's like, wow. I always knew it was going to be bad.
Yeah.
But like there was just no rhyme or reason to it. And like I said, there was no learning curve at all. That was the thing that I took away from it the most. I can't believe I'm bitching about Wayne's World, but there was zero learning curve to it. You're right. Like Phil is right. You just plop you in a spot, throw a bunch of stuff at you, and just say, have at it.
Yeah.
And it's not fun.
Not good.
Another game, before I get to the three more interesting ones I want to talk about, that Adam also requested was, and that I got weirdly into, was Mario is Missing. I had never played that before.
That was kind of like Carmen Sandiego, sort of, right?
It is Carmen Sandiego.
Yeah.
So the way that works is Mario is missing. Luigi gets plopped down into different cities in the world. You don't know what city you're in right away. You can talk to people who are walking around and they'll give you hints about where you're at. And in every city, there's 3 information kiosks that represent 3 historic landmarks. Like if you're in Paris, it's the L'Arc de Triomphe, the Louvre, and the Eiffel Tower, right? So you go and it's the princess who's manning these kiosks, and there's something that's been stolen. So I don't know what to describe it. Let's say it's a painting or something that area is famous for. And you get this little pamphlet with a bunch of facts in it. And then you go jump on Goombas who are all over the place, and one of them will have the piece that's been stolen. You take it back to the kiosk, and when you try to give it back, then you have to answer some trivia questions because it's an edutainment title. And then you also have to figure out which world you're in so you can send Yoshi, or which city you're in so you can send Yoshi to that city. And then you can leave and go do that. Like I said, I played this, it was 3 and 4 in the morning. I played it for 2 hours, but I was weirdly into it. It was also fascinating though, because if you look at pictures of that game, clearly it seemed clear to me Nintendo either supplied or allowed them to copy the Super Mario World sprite.
Right.
For Yoshi and for Luigi and Mario.
But nothing else. They didn't do the graphics for anything
else. And so like the whole premise too is that you're in Bowser's castle and you're going through these rooms, and each room is actually themed to one of the Koopa kids.
Okay.
So they've got what I can only describe as their interpretations of these characters on pictures on the wall and stuff, and they just look, everything is so off-brand except for the sprites. It's unreal. Even
funny.
when you go into the places that you've unlocked after you find the stolen goods, and you get like a digitized picture of like the Great Wall of China or something, and there's a picture of Luigi standing there facing the screen with a camera that is clearly drawn from scratch and not even close to what Luigi looks like.
Right.
But I don't know, I got strangely into it for some reason. 3 games I do want to talk about real quick that were requested that I'd never played before. And now I kind of want to go back and play more. The first one was Umihara Kawase.
Yes.
Which
the
is
fishbowl game.
The fishbowl game, yeah, which is a little, basically a puzzle platformer where you play as a little girl who has a fish hook and a fishing line that she uses as a grappling hook, basically.
Yes.
It has really strangely satisfying physics.
Yeah.
That's its whole thing.
Yeah.
The strangely satisfying physics. And if you ever seen any of the like Games Done Quick videos of people who are running through various Umihara Kawase games, and there are several.
Yeah,
it's not just a Super Nintendo game, it's a series. Including there's a new one on the Switch that came out not too long ago, Umihara Kawase Fresh, right?
Well, you want to know what's really weird about the recent Umihara Kawase games?
Well, there's one that just came out recently that's like a Smash Brothers clone.
Yeah, that's Bazooka, I think.
Bazooka, yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's not a fishbowl game at all.
The character art of the little girl you play as in that game has become increasingly sexualized.
That doesn't surprise me.
In recent years. And it's really weird.
For context, in this game, she kind of looks like, say, a little
90s anime.
See in like oh my god, Studio Ghibli.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like that's the level of cuteness we're talking about.
Well,
here.
what's weird
the
is
same
that
with
like
the PlayStation game as well.
In the actual game, she looks like a cute little kid character still. But then like you see her on the cover art and she's just got gigantic boobs that are just like, look at these, everybody.
Yeah.
Do that again.
Look at these,
There
everybody.
you go.
That's a real voice sample from the game.
Yeah,
Like when
it's
Phil pushes his plumage toward the camera.
I squish them together.
Plumage.
Anyway, but this was so much fun.
Yeah,
I was really enjoying it a lot.
Yeah.
And anybody who's mastered it, I have nothing but respect for, because it's not easy.
Right.
You know, but and it's very quickly in that game that the game kind of expects you to be like, all right, go for it.
Yeah.
Like, be creative. You're going to swing around a lot, and good luck. But I didn't find it upsetting at all. It was just tons of fun. I want to track down a copy of it. I'd like to have a copy of that game. I really, really enjoyed it. Another one that somebody had requested was Gunman's Proof, which I think this came out like 1998.
Yeah.
It's a really late Super Famicom game. It's Zelda. It's Link to the Past.
Okay.
But with a Wild West theme.
Yeah.
And it's not bad.
A lot of exposition.
And a lot of exposition. It's not bad. It's got really wonderful animation on the main character. But yeah, you're walking around and you can either throw fists, which is literally a projectile of you punching, or you can shoot things with your gun. And it's just a Zelda clone. And it's really good. I was really enjoying it a lot. Another one that and it's translated. It's got a fan translation. So another one that I want to spend some time with. Finally, the last one that ended up playing that I'm bringing up more, not because I want to play a lot more of this, but I thought was really interesting, was because it's called FEDA, F-E-D-A, the Emblem of Justice. All I really knew about it was that it's a strategy RPG.
Okay.
I assumed based on the title that it would be similar to, say, a Fire Emblem, based on no other thing than
the word emblem.
Emblem. Yeah.
It
is for all intents
same reason
and
why
purposes,
people thought Legend of Kage was a Legend of Zelda sequel.
For all intents and purposes, a Shining Force clone.
Oh, okay.
Right down to the art.
Yeah.
So I believe the designer who created the characters for Shining Force actually did the work on this game.
Okay.
The main character looks like he looks like Max. He's dressed exactly like Max. And a lot of the other characters, like those in Shining Force, you had a lot of like anthropomorphic sort of dog characters and things like that. A lot of the other characters are like that as well. But then you get into the game, and when you get into like the battles and everything, battles played exactly the same. The menus look exactly the same. The placement of them it's Shining Force. It's really weird. And it's I didn't look up this any further. Somebody in the chat was talking about it. It's done by I think a company called Max Studio, which again,
Max Entertainment.
Max Entertainment, there you go. And I think it has a lot of Shining Force people in it working on it. So it's just kind of weird that they went away and just created a Shining Force game for the Super Famicom.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah.
Actually, you know what?
What?
The producer was Kenji Orimo, or Orimo, I'm assuming, who directed Shining Force.
There you go.
Yep.
Boy, he did not stray far from
there you go.
From home on that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I just wanted to call those out of the 24 games that I played over the weekend.
Jeez.
Just was cool to try out some new stuff.
Nice.
Even the weird stuff and the terrible stuff like Wayne's World. I also played a lot of Less to the Unlikely this morning too.
Ugh.
So
I'm sorry.
That was pretty bad. Visual concepts.
Yeah.
But that's it for me.
At least
that
kids got some charity out of it.
DTMC on that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, DTMC. That's right.
Yeah.
Why do I recognize that?
They did
DTMC.
They published the Ranma game over here. I know that.
That's why I remember them.
They did.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah. the SNES Ranma game.
Right.
Which was the second Ranma fighting game over in Japan, but the only one that came out here as a Ranma game. Yes.
Oh yeah, and people got Mike, your best friend Mike, to play Time Slip and Bubsy 2.
Bubsy.
Which one was Time Slip?
It's like a Contra. It's like a terrible Contra clone.
Oh, okay. I don't remember. I'm gonna
Bubsy
I'm
2
gonna
is
look
like
up
a terrible Bubsy clone.
Time Slip. Let me see if I recognize.
Into
Oh
the
yeah,
future.
I remember that cover,
Mm.
but I don't think
see.
I've ever played that game. Huh. Well, there
Well
you go.
then, Phil, what have
Yeah,
you been
huh?
playing?
Well, I talked about this a few weeks ago, where I picked up that Star Wars Vader Immortal VR
Yeah.
game
On
on
PS4?
the PlayStation 4 virtual reality device.
Which, by the way, I saw a couple pictures from people who have received their little cable.
Oh yeah?
So apparently some of those are in the mail.
Okay. I'll be on the lookout because I did finally get my order through
That's good.
on that. So but yeah, I'd originally talked about it a bit when I picked them up, and I had played just a few minutes worth of it. But I finally sat down and played through the first episode. Because I started because Mandalorian season 2 began a couple weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, right?
Yeah, and it's reminded me that I enjoy Star Wars.
There you go.
Because
it reminds you of the best of Star Wars.
That last
Yeah.
movie kind of made me forget that.
Killed it for you.
Yeah, Mando season 2 is reminding me that Star Wars is fun.
Yeah.
So I decided to sit down and play through this little trilogy because there are 3 episodes included in that. And they're I mean, I'm assuming the other 2 are as short as this one. It was like an hour. But it's a fun little thing. It's very it's set up very much more like a like a little virtual experience. It's not like, oh, I mean, you're certainly walking around and making your way through levels and things like that, but it
your hind
feels
legs like a little Roy Calhoun.
a little bit. I mean, I can't compare, but yeah. But yeah, it really does feel like something kind of like the thing we did in Vegas. That
we did a lot of
The
things
Void.
in Vegas, Phil.
The
You're
Void.
gonna make me
specifically
okay.
the
This is a
virtual
family
reality
show.
Star Wars thing that we did in Vegas.
Right,
it feels
right.
the Star Wars virtual reality game that I'm playing is comparable to the Star Wars virtual reality game we played in Vegas. Yeah. What was it? What was it called?
It was The Void.
The Void.
I forget what they were calling
it was
the Star Wars
Secrets
thing,
of the Empire or
something like that.
Like
yeah,
that.
You're right.
But yeah, it was the Void is the VR company that has that little experience. But yeah, it's set up more like that, where you're kind of being led from set piece to set piece, and they're telling a little Star Wars story as you go. But it was fun. I talked a bit about it when I first picked it up. But yeah, it's a neat little thing. There's a couple points where you get into a lightsaber fight, and it's neat. It's really cool. And you're using the Move controllers, the little the things that look like lightsabers. So it's a nice little tactile feel of actually swinging around your lightsabers. So it's fun. Like I said, the first episode took me about an hour to get through, so I'll have to sit down and finish up the other ones. And then I got to get back into Squadrons. Speaking of Star Wars VR,
I think that was on sale this weekend and I missed it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Black Friday is coming up too, so I'm sure.
That's true.
I'm sure it will be on sale again.
Part of it.
But yeah, so that was fun. And then yeah, other than that, I just I was playing a bit more Undermine on the Xbox through Game Pass.
Yeah. Yep.
And that's a fun little game. I enjoy Undermine quite a bit. And then I was since I was on the Xbox, I was like, oh, let's see what's new on the Game Pass. And I discovered there's this game called Cardo.
I heard of this.
Sounds interesting.
20 minutes ago.
Tell me more.
Well, it is it's this charming little game. No, so yeah, after you talked about it last week, CJ, I was like, oh, I'll download this and see what all the hubbub is about. And of course, this hubbub is coming solely from you. But but it's I mean, despite the fact that you're recommending it, I really liked it.
Well,
So,
I'm glad that something I recommended has struck your fancy.
No, it's a super cute game. I've barely played it. I just finished the first island and have just started the second one. But yeah, it is a cute game. It's adorable. The music is very charming, and it is it gets
tricky. It gets tricky.
I could see it getting there.
It gets pretty tricky.
I can see it getting tricky. I mean, it's very clever the way the puzzles play out on at least that first island, and it was enough. I mean, it's silly, but it was enough to kind of make me feel smart, even if just for a little bit, you know. And it was such basic stuff too. It was like, you know, oh, I wish I could find my home, which is just to the east of the only other house on the island. And I'm like, if I move this chunk of land to the
over
east,
here,
maybe that'll do something. Then, you know, you do that, of course, and the man's house appears on the map, and you're just like, oh, I see what you're doing, game.
That's right.
You're being clever. So, yeah, it's a really fun little.
I did get stuck for longer than I'd care to admit at a part where the hint. In fact, I like loaded a previous checkpoint because I was like, did I miss something? Like, I'm not sure. I think it's pretty early on, so I'll just spoil it. But it says like a character you're supposed to meet is hiding in the center of the forest of white flowers or whatever.
Okay.
So I'm like moving the pieces to make them all like touch and trying to figure out how to do this. And all I had to do was like surround a blank area of the map. And then it filled in with a new piece right there in the middle. Like,
really?
So it's like, yeah, you find this character in the middle of the white flower forest.
Wait,
I was like, okay.
Like it generates a chunk of land?
Yeah, it auto-generated the chunk of land after I surrounded it on four sides with because at first I was trying to like clump them all together, all the pieces connecting, because that's what
the game teaches you to do.
The game teaches you how to do that, but then it wanted me to do this other thing, and I was like, this cannot be the solution, but I'm gonna try it anyway because I've done everything else. Yeah, and then it was the solution. So I was like, oh damn.
I could, you know what? I can see getting stuck there because that's
coming up for you.
Okay,
and
well, now I know
you won't get stuck that way. But then it starts doing that a couple more times as you go.
Okay.
So
gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway.
Okay.
But it's fun though. The characters are fun. It's really well written and just humorous.
Yeah, it's a sweet little game. So
it's very sweet.
Yeah, I am enjoying it.
Cool. I'm glad.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's really about it. I've not been playing much. Certainly nothing really new. So
okay.
Yeah.
Well, next week we'll be talking all about
gearing up for
games.
Gearing up for miles of miles.
Miles of miles. It's only.
Oh boy,
12 hours only.
What?
12 hours long.
You want to, you know what cheered me up this week? You want to hear some good news I discovered this week is learning that I don't have to sit down for like 24 hours to play through the new Spider-Man game.
Yeah.
It's
a 12-hour game. That sounds great to me.
And I'm seeing a lot of people online getting very grumpy about this fact, but man, nope, a 12-hour game. That's good.
You're down with that.
I like that.
Down with it.
I like that. I'm also hearing that the Astro Bot game is maybe like 5 hours.
Yep.
Yeah, that's great. I'm all about that. I don't got time for 40-hour games, man.
Yeah, me too.
No.
I'm down with it.
Yep.
I'm wondering. So I'm getting the Ultimate Edition of Miles Morales. Should I play through Spider-Man Remastered first, or go straight to Miles Morales?
Now you never finished Spider-Man.
You're never going to get through.
I never finished Spider-Man on the PS4.
That's too bad because it's a good game.
Oh, well, yeah.
I am tempted to play through Spider-Man. I mean, I'm going to play through Miles first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
and
I've
then go
already
back to it.
But I might go back and play through it again just because.
So should I play Miles first and then because apparently Miles Morales starts off with a previously on sort of recap of what happened in the previous game.
I mean, for the sake of the show, I suppose, because certainly I will be talking about Miles, and I'm assuming
that's true.
Greg is going to be
definitely
talking about
Okay.
Miles.
Okay.
So,
well, I guess then I'll start.
you
with
know,
Miles.
we'll be talking about, oh man, did you see that part when Miles did this and this?
Did
And
you
then
see
you're
all
just
the
like,
ray tracing and the
and CJ's like, I thought the
Yeah.
shocker. Did you guys notice the puddles? They seemed different than the screenshots.
How about that
they
stealth mission in the
showed.
museum?
Oh boy.
Yeah.
None of those in Miles Morales.
Oh, good. Good. They learned their lesson because those stealth missions were you stinkers.
Wow.
Yeah, they
Wow.
were not good. Actually, was it which one was it? There was the one that I liked pretty well, which was where you were Mary Jane, like kind of giving orders to Spider-Man.
Wasn't that at Grand Central Station?
I believe it was, yeah.
Yeah, that was excellent.
That
I
was
actually
the-
really enjoyed that scene.
That was the good
Yeah.
stealth mission in that game, but the rest were pretty awful.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Anyway.
you should absolutely play through Spider-Man though. Maybe not
Okay.
first.
I
Maybe not
really
first,
should
but-
finish that game.
But yeah, it's quite excellent.
Okay.
I and this is terrible. I kind of want to play through it again because they revealed some of the new suits that they're adding to it. Did you see that? They're adding some. They're adding a
No.
couple new suits to the Spider-Man game, and one of them is like a Kamen Rider style suit. I think that's actually called like
Really?
Arachnid Rider or something.
I was going to say, it's not based on the Japanese Spider-Man.
No,
That's too bad because that was pretty neat, actually.
Yeah. Well, because the Japanese Spider-Man
It's like the birth of the, what do they call that? Like the Kamen Rider and those types of that genre.
Tokusatsu.
It's supposed to be, it's like the birth of that genre, isn't
Is
it?
it really?
No,
Pretty sure.
No.
There's no way.
No. They were doing Kamen Riders from like the 60s.
Well,
Yeah.
that's something
You know,
else. Never mind.
And
I mean,
yes.
the Japanese Spider-Man is a tokusatsu,
Oh, it absolutely
show.
is. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
but it did not originate it.
No. That was Stan Lee just kind of going like, yeah, let's do that. Why not?
Either way, it's bizarre and you should check it
Oh,
out
yeah.
if you get a chance.
Yeah. But I
That's
mean,
great.
like the Japanese live action Spider-Man show, the suit was a relatively normal looking suit.
More or less, yeah.
I think it had like big web launchers, like he had like giant like kind of gauntlet bracelet things or something, if I remember correctly. But you know, it was not overly ridiculous, but like
When's
the,
that
And it
coming
had
out on
and it had
Disney
and he
Plus?
had a giant
I
robot.
know, right? Yeah, and
That
he
is
had,
that
he had the giant robot. The
Everything to Disney Plus.
oh man, I would love if there was a
Leak.
subtitled
a
version of
real way
of
to watch
that.
it.
Yeah. But no, the new suit that's going to be in the Spider-Man game is all decked out like a Kamen Rider suit with like, you know, big spikes and
That's awesome.
you know, crazy armor type designs and stuff like that. So I'm like, oh, I might actually have to play through it with that stupid suit just for love and silliness. So, but yeah, where were we going with this?
ending what you've been playing.
Yeah,
I think we're done
That's
with
it.
that.
we're gonna
All
be
right.
playing that next week.
So I think that means it's time for tweets.
Oh, geez. Tweedly deedly dee. A tweedly deedly dee. Tweet. A tweet. Tweet.
Yeah. Let's do this one from Hacker Alias, Benjamin Rivers, who says, which console was your favorite to unbox? Which console?
I
was your favorite
I don't
to
remember
unbox?
having a favorite to unbox.
Like to take it out of the box?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
I was always
yeah.
excited for a new console I got.
Yeah, but do you have a favorite?
I mean,
Favorite?
I do not get, and this may just be an old man talking. I do not get the appeal of unboxing videos.
Oh, I
At all?
do. I definitely do.
Do you really?
Yeah.
I just I don't care. It's just the box, and it's a means of getting the material to me.
Yeah.
And
So you didn't agree with the people who went all nuts on the dude from Digital Foundry who ripped the cover of his PlayStation 5 box? Did you see that? Did you hear about it?
no.
So Digital Foundry did an
Okay.
unboxing for the PS5, and one of the guys I only really know
Richard.
John Linneman.
Okay.
Richard, was it?
Rich, yeah.
So like the PS5 box it looks like it's a more traditional just cardboard box, but it's
Right.
got a slip cover over it. And that's
Okay.
where all the printing and the graphics are for
Oh,
the PS5,
okay.
right?
Gotcha.
So of course, and as is most of those boxes, it's got a hole at one end where the UPC is.
Right.
So when he went to take the slip case off, I noticed him do it in the video, and I just because I noticed it because people are usually so super careful about that stuff.
Right.
He pulled on it in that spot and he ripped it.
Right.
Oh.
And
Oops.
then he pulled and moved on. And then apparently there was a huge outburst about it with the disrespect
Why?
he showed and all.
What?
And it's like, what?
It's the box.
And why?
Well, also, I think he
unprofessional
commented. I think he commented on in one of those videos that the PS5 box they got was slightly damaged anyway,
Yes,
so
he
it wasn't
did say
like
that.
it was pristine
But who
or anything.
cares?
How do you disrespect
Well, yeah,
a
who
box?
cares?
It's a box.
Yeah, I know.
It's damn cardboard. You know what? I don't think the box was offended.
I
don't
like
think we need to
watching
worry about that.
unboxing videos because it's sort of a living vicariously through somebody else who is opening the thing for the first time. Like I can
Right.
see, like can get excited by that stuff. And there are companies that treat like the opening of the product as like I don't know. They
Right.
put little details into it that make you feel good about unboxing this thing or like taking
Right.
the plastic off of this, like, and that I really do appreciate when a box is done well, and it's not just a cardboard thing with two styrofoam ends holding it in place.
That's the thing, because it's like I got the Game Boy Micro that came out in Japan, the one that was kind of styled like the Famicom. And that had a very cute box that was kind of like Super Mario themed, and like, you know, you slide it out and it reveals more of the Mario level printed inside the box. And if you lift the system out, like there's like the little Mario sprite hidden underneath or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, that's a cute box design,
right?
And sure. But for the most part,
or like the NES Classic, like the box looks like you remembered it, and then
but it's like,
I don't know.
But like, you know, okay, the PS5 box. Well, let's see. Yep, there's the system. Yeah, I've seen the system. I knew it was going to be in the box, and here's the controller packed in, and you know, it's just like, what am I looking at? I'm seeing, I know all that crap's in there. I don't need to see it. It doesn't matter how it's configured in the box.
Well, I mean, I like talking about the new consoles because you've seen as well. I watched Victor Lucas open up the Series X. I do like the way that they've done that, like, because it's sort of a flip open. It almost looks like a display case.
Right.
It's interesting. You know,
they did it like a sneaker box, sort of.
Yeah,
flips open, and it's got like the black styrofoam thing that's power your dreams, and they've wrapped it in such a way like it. I don't know. It's different than game consoles of old.
They went for presentation.
Sony packed the AC cord on the side of the system instead of on top. That's a
but anyway,
bold choice. Very artistic.
I can't remember. I can't remember a system that I particularly. I mean, I think Phil, what you just described about the Micro.
Yeah.
You know, I can't remember anything standing out like that because anytime I got a new system, I was just so excited to have the new system.
Right.
They were all exciting.
Yeah. I mean,
if I remember correctly, the Xbox One X and the One S were packaged very nicely in that same sort of way that it had little hidden Easter eggs in the packaging. That it's fun. It's video games. Why not make the packaging fun too? Right. I'm okay with that.
I see the box.
You ripped the box.
when I here's what's going to happen. PS5 is going to show up. The Xbox One is going to show up. I'm going to see the box as soon as I take it out of the Amazon shipping box.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say, okay, here's the box. I'm going to open it up. I'm going to pull the crap out. I'm going to shove all the plastic and styrofoam or whatever back in.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be reading the flaps for little hidden messages because whatever.
I know.
And,
sure.
and the box is going to get shoved over to the side.
Yeah.
And it's going to sit over against my wall for like 2 weeks. And then I'm going to notice it one day and I'm going to go, oh, should I save that?
Put it in the recycle.
Should I go put it in storage and like save this for some reason? And then I'm going to go throw it out.
Yeah.
I'll put it in the recycle bin. I won't put the styrofoam in the recycle bin.
Right.
Assuming there is styrofoam or probably a comparable substance. I don't think they really use styrofoam that much anymore for that stuff, do they?
No.
It's mostly like some sort of foam thing or something. But yeah, I don't care. It's a box.
Don't care.
It's a
I
box.
really liked I'll say something more recently, like the Switch.
Yeah.
The fact that the process of opening the box and the Joy-Cons were separate, and like turning the system on for the first time and having it snap the Joy-Con into the system and the sound that it made, and like the boot up animation that you only ever see that one time and never again.
I think you're
like, to me, the process
that's
of
not unboxing.
unboxing.
That's not an
turning on your new
unboxing.
system.
Yeah.
All right, fine.
The box is not involved in that.
Exciting.
I was excited about the Switch.
Now, Labo is kind of like reboxing, because now you get flat
Making a
cardboard
box?
and then you're suddenly, ooh, now I have a piano. So that's the
There you go.
reboxing process. I mean, I guess probably I'm going back to I guess like the NES, where I was a junior high kid.
Yeah.
Getting this for Christmas, and that excitement, like the N64 kid screaming about his, but yeah, opening that box up for the action set box and sliding out that was certainly styrofoam, sliding out that giant slab of styrofoam that had all the pieces in there. And yeah, because you're a kid and this is your awesome new video game system and you're super psyched about it.
Right.
And it's a present and you've been waiting months for it. So yes, that.
Okay.
That childlike exuberance.
You want
is
that.
What I liked. But yeah, now
you don't have that now that you're a grizzled.
Now that I'm a cranky old fart.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
You should try to enjoy life more, Phil.
You know what? If there's one thing I do, it's hate life and everything involved with it.
All right. Hacker alias Alpha Tryon asks, from the first console or PC you played, which game would you like to see remade or remastered just for fun?
The first from the first system we ever played?
First system you ever played. So for me, Odyssey 2 was my first system.
Yeah.
And Pickaxe Pete, which is like it's not really a Donkey Kong clone, really. It's sort of like levels with enemies, but I don't even remember what you do in Pickaxe Pete. But it's basically, it seemed to me like the equivalent of Donkey Kong, where you pick up a pickaxe instead of a hammer and you are crawling upwards or climbing upwards.
Yeah.
This thing, Pickaxe Pete, I'd love to see a remaster of that. Even though it'd have to be a completely different game, be more like Skyrim or something. I'm sure.
You know what? Real quick,
yeah,
I'm going to point out in our chat, Gabriel C posted a very amusing idea about the unboxing. Just says, "What about streaming you opening the console, but carefully destroying the box and leaving the system untouched?" Which sounds hilarious. To like methodically get in there with like an X-Acto knife and just gonna slice this right down the middle of the cup,
But then you risk actually doing damage to the console if you don't open it in the correct way.
Well,
right?
presumably there's foam surrounding the console, right?
Oh, okay.
So you got to be surgical about it.
Okay. All right.
Wow.
All right.
But
And yes, I am old. Yeah, Pickaxe Pete. That was the thing was though. It was on the Odyssey too, but my parents bought that video game system for us post crash. It was like $15 for the Odyssey 2 and like $3 for the game or something. So
is Sean 697 in our chat asks if Pickaxe Pete is a minor 2049er clone.
I don't think so.
Man, let me tell you, I loved minor 2049er back in the day. That was a fun as crap game. And I wish someone would I have no idea who owns the rights to minor 2049er, but I would love to see just to be able to play the old game again.
Yeah.
It was quite a good game. My first system was the Atari 2600. And I would, what would I like to see a new version of? Probably, I mean, the first one that pops in my head is River Raid. Because River Raid is, I think, one of the few Atari 2600 games that you can play for more than like 2 minutes these days without getting just completely bored out of your skull.
Yeah.
Because River Raid was an amazing game back in the day.
Yes.
Just beautiful and fun.
It felt like a generational leap.
I mean, it's weird to say, but yes.
Something that we would see later.
Yeah, it really did.
Yeah.
And it was a great game, and it's still really fun to play.
Mm-hmm.
And I would not be adverse to a new River Raid game.
Okay. Greg.
Oh man. First system I played was a 2600 as well. I don't know though, like most of the, like I'm sitting here thinking of some of my favorite games, and my whole thing would be that they would lose their simplicity. You know, like I'm thinking of like Combat. Like my brother and I played Combat for hours at a time, and you know, if you were to remake something like that, it would be first person. It would lose its charm.
Right.
Or like one of my all-time favorite games back then was called Dodgem, which was a clone of Sega's Head On, which I didn't even really know that until recently. But again, you lose the overhead simple sort of dot to collecting maze element of it. It just would never be the same game.
Yeah.
So I don't really know. I mean, that's tough to decide. Yeah.
See, like I think River Raid could work because it is just a vertical scrolling shooter.
In fact, they tried that in the SNES era. I don't think they released it, but Activision at one time at a CES had builds of River Raid, and then Pitfall: The Mayan Adventure that did come out. That was insane.
That was not good.
Yeah, Pitfall: The Mayan Adventure not great, but it was within that same. It was part of. I think 3 games were supposed to be released. It was Kaboom, River Raid, and Pitfall: The Mayan Adventure. And Kaboom and River Raid never came out.
Nope.
Remember the game that?
But I did play them at CES.
Yeah, so did I.
Recently played that I'd forgotten how much I enjoyed was Plaque Attack. Did you ever play Plaque Attack? That was a really good game.
Where you were like shooting like the teeth and stuff like that.
Yeah, you were a roll of toothpaste. So you had a limited amount of shots. And you were on the inside of a mouth. There was the upper and the lower rows of teeth.
Yeah.
And you were fighting off plaque.
Yeah.
And it was really cute little game.
If I remember correctly, those 16-bit Activision games that they did have at CES, I believe the 16-bit Kaboom was going to be like third person, if I remember correctly. And it was like using mode 7 scrolling. So like
you might be right.
Bombs were coming at you, and you were as I hit the mic, and you're moving back and forth trying to catch them that way.
And I'm not saying that couldn't be good,
right?
But it wouldn't be Kaboom,
right?
You know, that's not what I loved about that game,
right?
All right, I think that's where we should call it.
Well, okay.
Yeah. Alrighty, and that is our show for this week. Thank you very much for listening. If you have a question for us or would like to comment on something you heard, you can direct that to @P1Podcast on the Twitters, or you can go to our internet website at player1podcast.com. There you'll find our contact information. You'll find blog entries about Sega CD stuff from Mr. Greg Seward.
I still do have that one that's ready to post, but I just couldn't do it this week.
There you go. Busy man, that Greg. Generation 16 episodes as well.
Haven't worked on that this week either. Did you see that too?
I did. Yeah,
okay.
That was weird. And you'll also find show notes and links to all the things that we talked about. I'm probably going to have to link to some Japanese Spider-Man video, some tokusatsu stuff. You know, the usual stuff for a Player One podcast episode. And we also have a link on our website to our Discord server where you can chat with us and our other listeners about all kinds of things, including the next generation system launches that are upcoming this very week. It's very exciting.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
If you would like to subscribe to the Player One Podcast, you can do so by visiting player1podcast.com or by loading up your favorite podcast listening app. We're also on Stitcher Radio. We're on Spotify, which you can easily access with your PlayStation 5 media remote.
I need to get one now.
I don't know how much we had to pay to get this on here so that everyone could access our show easily, but it was a lot. And I think
less than they paid Joe Rogan, though.
I guess we are on Spotify, so in a way, you're right.
I mean, that was precisely my joke.
You're right. You're right.
That was the joke.
You're right, Phil. You're right.
You can like us on Facebook. You can watch live. Well, you can watch video archives, years worth of video archives of our show, and you can watch us broadcast live most weeks on the youtubes.com/P1Podcast. Follow our Twitter account, which is just @P1Podcast, to find out when we are broadcasting our next live show. Typically, of course, it is Sunday nights at 5:30 Pacific time. So, just so you know.
Yes.
If you've liked what you've heard, and how could you can head over to patreon.com/P1Podcast. Throw a few shekels our way. CJ needs the money to buy tiny little ornaments for his wife's tiny little Christmas tree.
Right.
Behind him, just to add a little visual pop to the YouTube broadcasts. So
Panache.
please help us out. Help him out. Help him out with his flair, his office flair. No, but your Patreon funds do, of course, help keep the lights on. It keeps our Zooms zooming. And it keeps the podcast running steadily. And of course, if you are a Patreon friend of the $5 tier,
cheap.
Yes,
we did it.
We're getting it now. You will gain access to a special weekly bonus show that we record right after this. We play games, we crack wise. We have fun doing all the stuff we can't do on this show as per FCC regulations. We have a game this week, CJ?
Sure do.
What kind of game is it?
It is a review game from Game Fan Magazine.
Oh no.
Oh, because as I mentioned before, now that we're into 20 years ago, EGM, they actually started started describing the games really well, so it's really hard to do. There's no game basically to do.
Not only do the reviews actually make sense, but it's also to the point where we were writing them.
Yeah, so that's why they were so good.
Yeah, obviously.
Right.
Oh man, I was hoping we had a Jeopardy game so we could have a brief moment of silence. Because of course today, as we record on November 8th, it was just announced there was the big unboxing for Alex Trebek's death. So we found out he we found his I don't know who announced. Was it his family? Was it the producers of Jeopardy?
I don't know who announced it, but he passed away at home with his family.
Someone announced that he had he had
Lost
passed
his
away
fight with
today,
cancer.
which
Yeah.
sucks because holy crap.
Because
Ouch.
cancer.
Well,
Yeah.
cancer,
God damn it.
obviously bad, but Alex Trebek, obviously good.
Yes.
And yeah, it's a bummer because that dude was pretty great. So anyway, we will miss you, Alex Trebek, but we will.
Although I do love the
What's that?
questions now asking if Sean Connery is giving Alex Trebek shit up in heaven. And I really just want to go back and watch some celebrity.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Celebrity Jeopardy
and
bits.
SNL.
Yeah.
God, those were funny.
Yeah, they were. They definitely were. But join us for that in the post show. And if you have a couple bucks left over, you can head over to generation-16.com where you will find the Patreon link to help support Greg Sewart's outstanding, and it is outstanding, web series about North America's favorite runner-up, the Sega Genesis.
Also cheap.
Also cheap.
Boom.
Especially since you only charge per episode. Your Patreon only goes through per episode. So
Yes.
So yeah, you will
Because I work way too slow for you people to pay me too much per episode.
and you are probably a rarity among Patreon. You acknowledge that, and you don't you feel bad about taking people's money every month.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Because I would feel bad about taking it every month.
Yeah.
Not saying everyone should, but I would.
Yes. So there you go. But yeah, that's that. Thank you, CJ.
Thank you, Phil.
Of course. Gregory.
Yo.
Thank you as well.
Thank you, Philip.
Definitely appreciate you being here. And of course, thank you the most to our wonderful, wonderful listeners, every one of you. You are the best. Don't let anyone ever tell you otherwise.
Unless it's Phil.
Unless it's me, because I am notoriously flippant with my praise. I will give it out to anyone.
I've heard that about you.
That's true. But
Lived it.
you're great, Greg. That was pretty.
Oh, wait.
That was a sweet thing you just did. But yes, thank you, everyone. Please stay safe. Like CJ was ranting about earlier, wear your masks for crying out loud. Listen to scientists. Listen to doctors.
Respect others.
They actually know what's going on. Respect others, unless you are co-hosting a podcast with them, in which case it is a free-for-all.
Not to.
Yeah.
Fair game.
As I learn every week. Thank you.
Yeah. And hey, next gen. We're here.
Next gen.
Right. Next
It's
week
coming.
we should all have our systems.
It's coming. Brace yourself, friends.
That's right.
And we will talk to you next week.
Later.